To Highfield Think Tank TV, I'm Kasoma Farouk of Uganda. The struggle for independence and unification in the world was not easy. There is a country called the German, where at one time there wasn't one country called the German. But the countries struggled until they created a state called German. Praise be to big names like Otto von Bismarck, William I. These ones were the key pillars in helping Germany to get its unification. I'm here with the great historians. I'm going to challenge their minds. Becky and Sancho. Becky, what factors delayed the German unification? Because the struggle was not easy.
Opposition from the liberals in the parliament.
Okay.
Whereby the Frankfurt parliament did not approve of the unification of Germany, since it was more influenced by Metternich, who was the leader of Austria then.
You mean Metternich was in Austria, but influencing a parliament in Germany?
Yes, he was so influential in German that he influenced the state's affair. He did not want Germany to be unified, since he wanted to still take over Germany. He did not want Germany to be a unified state. He wanted it to be not unified.
So that he could control it.
Yes.
Now, how did that delay the struggle?
Since they were not united, that state lacked unity, it did not unite. Since they were not united, it did not join hands and fight.
Okay. What are the obstacles can you raise?
Let me say that before Germany was unified, it was militarily weak. It had no military equipment. Everyone knows you cannot go for a war when you are not military equipped.
But I may have the numbers in terms of population.
No, we have quality and quantity.
Okay.
So they had no military weapons, military equipment. Remember, Austria, France, let's say even Russia, they were militarily strong.
Okay.
How can you attack such big and superior countries when you know you are inferior in weapons? Can you win?
You cannot.
Yes.
Which other obstacle can you raise?
Economic backwardness.
Okay.
Every struggle to be successful needs to be funded. Now remember, Germany, they lacked funds to fund their struggle.
Yes.
They could not go for a war. Remember, funds, you need to have funds to buy weapons, to buy military gadgets, let's say goods.
But it was like they had the right to control their country. Why are you raising the issue of economic backwardness?
Because it was.
You mean they needed to give people money to join the struggle?
No, they had to use that money to fund the mobilization of people.
Okay.
Remember, they had to move from one place
To another. Okay. So you are raising an argument that economic backwardness delayed the struggle for the great unity. So we are realizing that later in around 1871, Germany got its unification. Sancho, what were the steps that helped Germany to get its unification? Because Austria was so strong.
First of all, when we talk about the steps to the unification were three.
Okay.
They were categorized into three.
Okay.
First of all, it was the Danish War of 1864, followed by the Austro-Prussian War in 1866, and later on, it was closed up by the Franco-Prussian War of 1870 to 71.
Okay.
I will go back to the Danish War of 1864, where Prussia went to war with Denmark.
Okay.
In this step, the most attractive step in this step, it was when the British Prime Minister gave a statement saying that the Holstein and Sandwich equation was to be solved by the three people, and he named them by the prince who died, the German professor who ran mad, and he who forgot.
Okay.
So he left the equation to everyone who was free to answer. And first of all, in this Danish war, we shall look at the key player, Otto von Bismarck, who was a general strategist.
What do you mean when you say key player? You mean others were not participants?
They are what we call the charismatic people, intellectuals, elites. They are people who think for others.
Okay.
They are wise people for those who are wise. You know, level of understanding aren't the same.
Okay.
They are people who are extreme.
Okay.
And they are always once in a decade. Get one person in a decade.
That is it.
Otto von was one in a kind. When we go deeply into these steps, we shall see that Otto von was one for the kind, because during the Danish War, Otto von Bismarck saw that if Austria made an alliance with Denmark, it was a dead end for him.
Okay.
Otto von, as a person, he went and he made a verbal agreement with Austria.
Which country made an alliance?
No. Otto von, he never wanted Austria to intervene in the Danish war, the war between Denmark and Prussia. So he wanted Austria to be neutral. He promised Austria, because they were fighting for two states, that was Holstein and Schleswig. So he promised one of the states to Austria, that was Schleswig.
That he promised to give Austria one of the states.
Yeah.
That I think that's the statement.
Yeah. He promised them that I'll give you one of the states, then I take the other. Just be neutral.
Okay.
It was a good deal for Austria.
Okay.
Without intervening, just relax and you and Austria did the same. So Otto von went to war with Denmark, that was the Danish war. Otto von of Prussia. When he went to war, he was able to win.
Okay.
He was able to win the Danish war, and he got what we call the Holstein state, and the other one Schleswig state, and the other one was given Holstein.
He gave Holstein to Austria.
Yeah.
As per the agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the unification was just at this grassroots. It was just starting.
Okay.
This wasn't the end.
Okay.
Otto von, I told you, he was a very wise man. Otto von, he strategically planned everything step by step. That's why I told you from the start that Otto von Bismarck was one of a kind. Okay. One of the major strategists in the unification.
You mean Otto von Bismarck was a rare species?
He was a rare species.
Okay.
Extraordinary.
Okay.
So when he got the Schleswig state, he understood that you cannot liberate just a part. He said the struggle has to continue. He said, I cannot just attack Austria.
Okay.
I can't just from nowhere and I attack. Remember, and he had to what?
To create a situation.
He had to create a situation of war. They have the Confederation Parliament.
Yes, German Confederation
Parliament. Remember, it was led by Austria.
Yes.
So he came up with those small reasons where he could provoke Austria to announce or to declare a war on Prussia.
Okay.
He couldn't just say, give me my state.
Okay.
That wasn't intellectual. It was going to be pedestrian arguments.
Okay.
When Austria had that Prussia led by, spearheaded by Otto von Bismarck, wanted to lead, but they were saying that Austria isn't fit for leading
the German Confederation.
So he said, no, this guy is not serious. I stood neutral when he was fighting because he asked me, now he's trying to attack me. He declared the war, Austria on Prussia.
Austria declared war on Prussia.
Yeah.
And that's what Bismarck wanted.
That's what Bismarck wanted. Bismarck did not stop here.
Okay.
He understood that Austria, it could, remember when you go back into the French Revolution of 1789.
Becky, I'm following that.
Yeah.
When you go back into the 1789, there was a strong alliance between France and Austria.
Okay.
With the likes of Marie Antoinette. You understand? Most of the people who went in exile from France, they went to Austria.
Okay.
You understand? So he understood that when France, he could not just stood by and he lived the war between Russia and Austria. It had to intervene.
Yes.
So he used the same technique. He went to France. He made a verbal agreement with France because remember,
a promise to give France also some territory.
No, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Remember, long ago, Germany was very scattered. It was amalgamated by Napoleon Bonaparte. It was the division that led in 39 states.
Okay.
So he promised them the 1,000 states. So for him to take the northern states.
Okay.
So he said, in return for I want you to be neutral. You earn the 1,000 states. Then for me, I'll take the northern states.
Okay.
Then it was a very good deal for Napoleon III. He said
because he was going to win, also get some back.
Yeah. For him, he knew that in return, those northern states they will not be that effective in his empire.
Okay.
So France agreed to be neutral.
Okay.
Then we look at the Austro-Prussian War of 1866.
So what happened in the Austro-Prussian War exactly?
Austro-Prussian War, we went to war where Austria declared a war on Prussia, and they went to war. But remember, Otto von Bismarck, for him, he could be prepared and then he provoked.
Yeah.
For you are not prepared, but you are declaring a war. For him, it could be strategically located. If you declare a war, we shall start from here.
Okay.
But I will not declare.
Yes.
So, on the Austro-Prussian War, Austria was defeated again.
Austria was defeated.
And then, so I was saying, it was retrieved.
Holstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was retrieved that day.
It was annexed to Prussia.
Yeah.
And other German states.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. But remember, when he was planning for the Austro-Prussian War, he promised France the
South German states.
South German states.
Yes.
He never stopped there.
Okay.
Then Napoleon III, remember it was a verbal agreement. It was not written anywhere.
Yes.
He came demanding my friend.
But it was an agreement. I think even verbal agreements are not agreement.
It isn't an agreement.
Becky, what's your take on this? I think verbal agreement is also an agreement. They don't qualify.
We intellectuals, we don't believe in words.
Okay.
Because even once a wise man said, the vows of politicians are more brutal than those who are not the lovers.
Okay.
Politicians are magnetic speakers. They can speak on their lives. So, Otto von Bismarck was able to win the Austro-Prussian War of 1866. Then France came to get their share of the Austro-Prussian War. And that was the South German states.
That is it.
But remember, it was a verbal agreement.
Yes.
And of which Otto von Bismarck never discussed it with his cabinet.
Yeah.
The likes of von Ron, von Moltke, he never told them.
When he was agreeing with Napoleon?
Yeah, it was a verbal agreement.
Okay.
It wasn't like a public agreement.
Okay.
So, now, but von Bismarck,
yes,
he was a hard nut to crack. He said, I don't remember anything.
Okay.
So it was a sign of provoking France at the start.
Into another war. Then what was the third stage?
But we remember that there is I forget the name.
But I want
Prussia.
Okay, to drop clarity. We have said that in the second stage, you have said that Holstein was liberated. So what was in the third stage?
The third stage was a war between France and Prussia due to the agreement made during the Austro-Prussian War.
Yeah, but what I want us to understand, what was the third stage in the German situation?
The third stage in the German situation was the Franco-Prussian War.
What happened?
Of 1870 to 71.
What happened?
This war, it was a war brought up by Otto von Bismarck and his alliance policy. Otto von Bismarck, the time he spent has the strategy to stop Prussia. He never declared any war. But he was there when people declared the war on him. And remember, he was more prepared.
than them. So what happened in the Franco-Prussian War?
Franco-Prussian War. Remember, before the Franco-Prussian War, the leader of Prussia wrote a letter to say, you come, we speak. EMS. Come and we sit on the round table. We discuss how can we share, because the other one wasn't there. Now come and we make an official agreement.
And what happened?
The message of the EMS was a friend Otto von Bismarck.
Okay.
He passed via Otto von Bismarck's place.
Okay.
And when he passed, Otto von Bismarck said, let me have a look. Let me take a read. He got a chance. And he transformed a letter which was supposed to be apologetic into
something that could lead to a war.
Something that could lead to a war. An embarrassing letter on such a songman like Napoleon. From the Bonapartism family, it couldn't be. And by the time Napoleon, they took the letter to him, he had a wife called Engine Marie. Engine Marie, the one who read the sick Napoleon III on the bed. And this Engine Marie, they can say that this is my war. How can you embarrass France and my husband Napoleon III? Engine Marie spearheaded the Franco-Prussian War of 1870 to 71.
So the intention of Bismarck was to liberate the South German states.
Yeah.
What happened exactly?
And the most interesting in this war, the Franco-Prussian War, it is the only war in the history of Europe where a leader of another state was kidnapped. And that was Napoleon III. This war, it ended when Napoleon III was taken as a prisoner of war. And remember, most interesting about this state, last one, it was also another step in the unification of Italy. And that was for another.
But our focus is on Germany.
And I want to praise Otto von Bismarck because he was a man who liberated two countries. Because remember, France declared a war, and most of the soldiers were placed in Rome to protect the Pope. So he retrieved them in order to come and win the war.
So he left Rome and protected.
And remember, there is a saying that soldiers from Rome, they were, as Mazins were preparing for war, the soldiers of French were going well away to the people that died. So Otto von Bismarck was one of the strategists who will never be forgotten in the history of Europe.
So you mean in the Franco-Prussian War, finally South German states were liberated?
And it was made a unified state called Germany.
Yeah. So a state was